Hello everyone, and welcome to the November development update. There were a ton of changes this month. One of the big ones was reworking base interiors, and that's what I wanted to show in this video. It looks like that Eyestalk doesn't see me. I don't have time to reach him this turn, so instead I'm actually just going to duck back outside. If he passes by the entrance, I can try and get him with reaction fire, and if not, I'll try and sneak up on him afterwards. A lot of recent tactics games have had a full vision circle around characters, but I think you miss out on a lot of interesting gameplay that way. Sneaking up on people and surprising them, or being surprised yourself when enemies take paths you didn't expect and come up from behind you, I think actually adds a lot to tactical combat. You may have noticed camera rotation is gradual now instead of instant, which I think makes a big difference when it comes to keeping your bearings while you fight. I've also adjusted the compass to display north, east, south, and west so that it's easier to keep track of where you are and where you're going on the world map at all times. I also heavily reworked how the throw skill works to ensure that it's viable even in area types that don't have a lot of heavy stone and metal objects. Previously, in castles, you would almost always end up having one big fight right at the entrance, and then once that was over you could just safely walk up to the boss's lair. But I wanted to emphasize what was unique about castles from the gameplay side, which is close quarters combat. Things like having to bunch up your squad or split up into smaller groups, having to turn corners and cover multiple directions in hallways, having enemies take different paths through the hallways and come up behind you. I adjusted the area so that you can enter the castle without incident, but then once you're inside you'll be set upon by enemies wandering the halls. Those enemies leap at you and blow up when they land, and they also self-destruct when they take too much damage. That makes it hard for my melee guys to do anything, but because he's sitting right on that tight corner, my ranged and throwing characters can't really attack him safely either. What I'm going to try to do is throw a bomb from around the corner and hope that the blast radius is large enough to get him. That works, but it was definitely a load-bearing wall. You can see my team took a little damage from the debris, but nothing direct. Other enemies will have heard that explosion and they might come to investigate. The fire should actually keep me safe from attacks in its direction, so I'm going to put most of my people facing the other way. I'll raise the view layer here for a second to survey the damage. You can see the light shining in where the roof collapsed. I'm going to set a little ambush here for that gunman. He won't be able to see the rest of my team through the smoke. ninja has a baton. That's a stun weapon, so every hit drains your opponent's time units. By hitting this guy on an interrupt, I've ensured that he won't be able to act anymore this turn. But it looks like in doing so, I exposed the ninja to that guy further down the hall. He's on fire now, and will take a few more turns of damage if he can't manage to douse himself. Somebody else showed up. Bludgeoners carry really heavy weapons that do a lot of damage, but take endurance to swing each time. This one has a baseball bat. My adventurer is carrying the same thing. My chances of hitting that masked gunman in the distance are low, but I can spend some time units aiming to improve those odds. I'll bring the princess up to finish him off. The adventurer has some water that the ninja could use. I can't access the party inventory since I'm in the middle of combat, but I can drop it on the ground as I pass him so that he can pick it up and put himself out. My bomber got the interrupt. I'm a little nervous about throwing a bomb here, but I think if I don't, that bludgeoner may finish off the ninja and princess next. Though it didn't do him in, the fire damage was enough to panic him, so I don't have to worry about it doing more damage. The princess is fleeing because of the morale hit from the adventurer dying, plus the attacks, and the ninja, it seems like, froze up. Fortunately, my gunner and bomber were far away enough from the firefight to hold on to their senses. I increased the mental damage that characters take from being attacked to make morale an even bigger part of the game, but I also reworked the code that handles when that damage is applied to make it a little more nuanced. For example, a bullet fired from the other side of a solid stone wall doesn't perturb characters, but if they're only behind a pillar, or if parts of the wall nearby have been blasted out, then it does. That's all for this update. Thanks for watching.